read all those questions, but I would like to combine two questions from the audience for the actors. So what was your favorite moment on the sets, and what do you have a favorite line of the movie? So if you could all each answer that question, feel free to mute yourself if you're not speaking. Thank you.
Hey, am I on? Okay, I'm on. I think one of my favorite moments of this whole film was when Daniel, who plays Paul, and Ellie, who is played by me, say goodbye to each other, and Ellie has to go off to college now on the train, and this is the first time they are really like parting ways. And I remember we actually shot that scene. We were almost, I think, like 3/4 of the way done with everything. So we weren't quite done. We still had some time to go, but we had definitely experienced a lot of scenes together and just have really grown a strong bond with each other, Daniel and I, and just working with Alice as well. And that day, I remember Alice used to take Daniel and I aside and like just have little conversations with us. And I remember she came to me and was like, hey, so what do you wish for Daniel in life? Like, what is it that you would want for him? And I just remember telling her a couple of things like this and that. And it was like kind of the end of the discussion. And then we went on to shoot the scene and everything was happening. And I remember right before I take, she goes, okay, I'm like, by the way, this is what Daniel wished for you. And by the way, this is a very short and condensed version, but she was like, this is what Daniel wished for you. And it was like, he just wishes that you knew that you were just enough and that you were just so loved. And I just, oh my God, dude, the tears were like streaming down. I was bawling. And it was just such a great moment of really realizing what we were doing and the kind of emotions that were taking place with the connections that I had made with Ellie and with Paul and with Daniel and even Alexxis as well, even though she wasn't in that scene. And with Alice too, it was just such a great natural moment. And to kind of shoot the end scene in like 75% of the way was kind of strange, but it still was such a really great moment. It was such a great scene.
I think I'll hop on to that and just kind of, I mean, it sounds, I mean, maybe like I'm just repeating exactly what she's saying, but that what really was probably my favorite moment of being on set as well. I think by that point we'd been filming for probably a month and maybe a week by then, or somewhere along that line. So it was getting close to the end of filming, and it really was this thing where Ellie and Paul's relationship at that point was very, very similar to where Leah and I were at, and in our personal lives as well, which was such an extraordinary thing to kind of dive into in such a scene that means so much to these characters. And I guess in favorite lines, it really was almost my favorite part was the fact that there was no line of goodbye. It really which marked kind of their journey, where it was love. It isn't always just the I love you or the what you say to somebody, but really is in the action. And Paul showing up to the train, and Paul bringing like bringing Edwin's gift to Ellie, and just being like, hey, I'll take care of him. I'll be there while he is there. And that just kind of like marked their friendship and such. At least to me, in such a beautiful way of kind of encapsulated exactly what their experience kind of was. So for me, that was just really, really touching.
Okay, I guess that means it's my turn. I guess probably my favorite moment / scene would have to be the hot springs, just because it is the first time that I think you really get to see who Esther truly is. I think you see her on the dates and you see her at school, and this is the first time you've seen her in her comfort zone and as relaxed as possible. And it was actually the last day of set, doing an audition scene that I had done with Leah in our chemistry read. So it was a really bittersweet day / scene to be doing. It was definitely the scene that, from the first time I read the script, I was so stoked to do. I mean, the whole idea of it was it just sounded so much fun. And when we had such a good time during the chemistry read doing the scene, and we had felt so comfortable in our friendship and connection in real life at that point, that kind of doing that scene on the last day was really a great experience. For my favorite line, it would actually probably have to be when they're at the train station, Ellie and Aster, and I asked her, like, does she get to do this every day? And she lets me know the times, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. She's like, yeah, it's awesome. I'm like, no, but it's really master of the universe. Like, at least you rule something. And I think that's the first time you actually hear Aster too, kind of, you see her, a glimpse of her opening up into kind of how she's feeling in her life. I don't feel like she feels like she 100% has control of much, especially with her parents are, how her parents are, and, you know, with her boyfriend and her friends. You know, I think she's just really kind of at that point feeling just desperate to connect and for someone to see who she truly is in this town, because they're all kind of seeing this external version of her. So yeah, kind of a weird line, not one that I think would normally stick out, but that was definitely one that stuck out to me for Aster.
Thank you so much. A quote